All right, my friends, welcome back to the RCSparks studio. Today, as usual, we have something awesome to show you. I haven't been filming here for a while. In fact, I've been in my shop out at the ranch, of course, but I thought this was a great opportunity to put something back up on the white bench. We've always had great rigs to show you up on the white bench, and today is no different. Now, you've already seen the preview picture, you've already seen the title, so you know what I have back here is the new RC four-wheel drive Beast 2. It is a 6x6 ready-to-run crawler. Now, yes, viewers of the show that are familiar with RC Adventures know that I actually had a Beast 2 kit, and it was orange. Now, a lucky viewer got to walk away with that one day when they met me, and RC Four-Wheel Drive knew that I didn't have one anymore. They wanted to send one out so I could show it off to the audience and see what you guys thought of the new 6x6. It is quite a machine. Quite a few people already have one in kit form, but at the time of this filming, the RTR version is just being released. So, enough talking. Let's get out the blade, slice into the box, and have a look at what's inside. Cutting through the packing tape. Holy cow. This thing is huge! Where do I even begin? Okay, the wheelbase is 16.1 inches long. It says on the back here that it's 8.3 inches wide. All together from tip to tip, we got 24.3 inches. That is a long truck. Okay, looks like the body comes separately here. Come on out of there. Mil-Spec assembled hard body set. Here we go. Everything else is out of the box. Nice. There's the radio right underneath. Standard RC four-wheel drive ESC. Let's give you an overview of it. Alright, so the aluminum bumper up front has light buckets. That's what's actually in this hardware bag as well. You can see these gratings on this side. This is actually to protect your light buckets. And of course you can put some tow hooks or whatever you want off the front. Leading back into the aluminum frame rails for the chassis. The shock hangers are aluminum as well, including those shocks. These are beadlock rims. I'm pretty familiar with these. They're good. These tires themselves are pretty good, except they get mud in them, but it's a nice soft compound, so if you got some water nearby, you can, kind of dip them in. They clean up pretty nicely. Looking up here, 55 turn brushed motor, which gives it some pretty good torque, so it'll have enough power to be turning all of these drive axles. I'll talk about that in a second. The pinion itself, like I was mentioning here, is a 14-tooth 32 pitch that goes onto the two-stage transmission and out to a transfer case right here. The transfer case takes that power and shifts it out to the front drive shaft, which is the front driven axle, and then there's a drive shaft that goes underneath here, going the other side, and goes, there's the drive shaft right there, goes to this center axle. This has two output drives on either side, which allows that drive shaft to not only drive this axle, but the other side of the output hooks up to another smaller drive shaft that goes into the final axle housing, which is of course your final drive back here. All the suspension links are really cool. Look how the rods are hooked up to have stability in your back drive axles. And of course, this here, the skid plate is aluminum. Flipping it over, so you have a total of 6 shocks, 3 on either side, and of course everything is going to be basically paralleled on the other side. Standard ESC and BEC combo that come with RC four-wheel drive stuff, as well as the receiver. I wish they would change this, but that's only my own personal preference. I know there's lots of nickel metal hydride batteries out there that still use this older style Tamiya plug, but this is actually one of the first things that I have to change out in order for me to go out trailing, because all of my stuff is either Ultra plugs, Deans, Traxxas, or whatever, not really the old style Tamiyas. or Tamiya, or Tamiya, or wherever you are in the world, however you say it. We all know what we're saying. So there is a good overlook, but dun, 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 dun. One of the hardest parts about the kit I found was assembling the body. There was so many pieces to glue together. So I'm excited to see how this looks. I think we should unbox it and have a good look. Okay, so before I unbox that, I'm actually a little bit surprised on how lightweight these controllers are. Now, it kind of feels like it's empty, but it does not have any batteries in it. It takes 4 batteries on the bottom. And really, when I'm looking at radios like this, normally for the person that's just getting into the hobby, a radio like this ready to run is good to go. But for folks like us, we normally switch them out. But I'll tell you what, when you have an inexpensive radio, you don't mind getting it a little muddy. You don't mind beating it up and banging it around, right? So it may feel light, but there is some pros to that, and we'll see if it holds up. I'm pretty sure it will. Technology's come a long way. So, I love the packaging. It always seems to arrive in good order because the styrofoam that it gets shipped in is so thick. Now, hopefully it is in good order. Timber! Now, take the book, the instruction booklet, have a good read through that myself. Always have this on hand. I always kind of keep my booklets in a file cabinet just so I know when I need to reference them I can go back. Also, you can usually find things online. Bum, 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 bum. Nice, nice army color. Wow. Look at that. Everything has been individually wrapped so it wasn't rubbing during shipping. That's nice. Here we go. So the rails are on the bottom. Looks like it's going to attach with body pins and posts. Very nice, probably very quick. And of course, a spare tire. Let's have a closer look. Somebody just the other day was asking me to do more Army videos, and I think it's about time that we did. At least to take this fella out on the trail. Up and over, there's a hatch on top, and then another hatch in the back. If you want to put a sound kit in here, this is a great place to do it because it's got the mesh on top. Here, you can even have a look right in there. Okay, so it's a pretty large area. Plus on top, it's got this little handle so it won't open. Underneath, all glued together. Here is the side cargo area. That's pretty large actually. What can we put in there? There's one tire. See, look, you can fit so much more in there. Even the complete manual length and a tire. So quite a bit of room. Probably put a tank back there. Hey, that reminds me. So there we are. Do these open at all? Oh, could have been cargo bay areas, but that's just one too many things. I'm sure I could have a look at it myself. I might as well mount it up onto the chassis. Alright, as I'm quickly discovering, there is actually some assembly required. I don't think you need to do this to get it out of the box to run it, but if you want the extra accessories on there, i.e. the mirrors or the wheel wells or the hatch on top, you just got to take a few minutes. And so what I'm going to do is look into the instruction book and see what I have to do. All right, these are the mounts. My Cow RC pit mat is magnetic, very handy for holding small screws that you don't want landing on the floor. And And through the magic of TV, it is all assembled and ready to go. I figured if you guys just got to see, it took me about 20 minutes to do it off camera. I just installed the mud flaps on the back. I've also lined up the rails. This whole cargo area is made of plastic, including these chassis rails. So the pins come through here. You can actually push that down, put a body pin in there, and that's how this whole back area is assembled. Now, mirrors went on. Top hatch is able just to slide in. I'm gonna actually leave that off so I can show you guys something. Spare tire has been attached. The interior, if you want to go ahead and build yourself an interior, there is definitely room to do that just by pushing it through down the hatch, but the doors don't open. This is very cross RC like. It does remind me of the capo slightly, but the capo was made of all aluminum and completely a different product. And having a Beast 2 before the kit version, I know it's a great truck and it runs strong. Never had an issue with the drive shafts myself, but the one thing I'd like to see improved on a model like this, apart from the stock electronics, because that is a little bit too light for my liking, is the factory glue job. Like I was saying, one of the hardest things about building this kit project to begin with was actually assembling all the body parts, because you had to hand glue them. So look at this, I got a fingerprint up here from the assembler through the glue, and there's stringy glue lines everywhere. Now I would suggest, because even as I was putting it together, I was having problems with some of the glue letting go on the body. If you do decide to get a platform like this because you want to upgrade it and make it your own, or even just have it sitting on the shelf, awesome. Make sure to go in with the glue yourself and make sure to sturdy it up where you need it to be. But overall, it's a nice, fairly light truck. I'm not sure the weight of it right now, but it doesn't feel much more than 6 to 8 pounds, and it's going to be great on the trail. So hopefully you've been inspired to try out the radio control hobby during this show. I'm going to leave some links in the video description box down below to this truck and to the RC four-wheel drive online store, because they've got great scale accessories and parts and all that neat stuff there. And there you go. Overall, my friends, I'm going to have to give this truck a thumbs up. You can see how the top lid moves right here. Just out of the way. I attach the hinges on the inside, and with this release lever, it's simple and it attaches to the frame of this back cargo area. So there you go. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's unboxing video, and we will see you in the next episode of RC Adventures. Now get outside and have some fun with RC. Bye.